fundamentally, like if you look it up online or whatever, it's going to be something about studying the interactions between matter and energy. But that's a really boring description, right? Because you do a lot more than just that. Especially in experimental physics, right? You're in the lab all the time. You're learning how to make lasers and developing new technology is one of the things, right? It's a science. So anytime somebody invests in science, it's to get new technology out of it, and it is an investment. So right, physics is people playing around with really high-tech, really expensive equipment and trying to figure out new things. You can do a lot of things with a physics degree. Unfortunately, there isn't something called the physics industry. So you can't really say, oh, I'm going to get a job in the physics industry and be a physicist, but you can be a physicist at a bunch of different companies, say in the engineering industry or in the medical industry, right? There are medical physicists. Or you can go be an entrepreneur, because learning physics isn't about, say, learning what happens in a square well in quantum mechanics, or learning little tiny minutiae and facts, right? You do learn that along the way, but it's more about having the mindset of, hey, I can go and look at any situation, sort of break it down to its fundamentals, and being able to analyze things. And so then you can realize things that other people can't, and then you can improve those things. You have the freedom to learn sort of the things that you want to learn, right? At its heart, the physics degree is physics, but you can also do all sorts of other multidisciplinary things. There are a lot of different concentrations in the physics program, right? If you're interested in optics, do the optoelectronics. And if you're interested in mechanical engineering, do the mechanical engineering concentration. If you're interested in astronomy, go do that, right? And then there's a bunch of other strange multidisciplinary things that you wouldn't think about. Mainly, they have the framework in place that you can study what you want to study while getting your physics degree. So I chose physics and electrical engineering because I love designing and building things. I always have from when I was a wee little lad. And so now I have both a reason to design and build things, which is the physics research, and also something to help facilitate that, which is engineering background. So these are a couple of different things that I've made through the course of research. This is the current project, which is a radio frequency amplifier for making plasmas. And right, I could have gone out and bought one, but the project didn't have enough funding for that, so I thought, go ahead and make one. And right, I wasn't prepared to do it, but I learned a lot of stuff along the way so I could actually make something. And so this has a couple of different unique things about it that I'll hopefully publish a paper on. This thing right here, this is a 1.2 kilowatt power supply for powering the RF amplifier. And there were a couple little things I made. I made this with an air core, and I thought, right, you could wrap it around this sort of gray stuff down here called ferrite, and that makes it, you can make smaller coils. But the problem is, I was gonna spend like $40 in ferrite. I decided, you know what, $3 in speaker wire, I can make my coil. And the overall thing is about 95% efficient, but my coil needed a face plate, and I decided I needed a face, and one of the other physics majors made a suggestion as to who to put on there. Yeah, nobody said you have to not have fun while you're building things, right? You can certainly do some sort of art while you're doing it. Me and a couple other physics majors are thinking about starting a company, doing a little bit of the entrepreneuring thing, and we'll see how it goes. Doing consulting at first to sort of, build momentum, and then maybe coming up with a couple of our own products.